Hello, welcome. My name is Sarah. I'm one of the expert teachers here at E2 Language, and I'm going to take you through this live mock test for PTE Speaking today. Can everyone hear me and see me okay? Let's check everything's working. Say hi to me in the chat box. Hi Sandeep, hi Siam, hi Yasad, hi Raul, hi Nushad, hi Danny. It seems everything's good. Hi Paola. Remember that if you write in the chat box and you write to all panelists and attendees, then everybody can read your messages, and that's nice because it kind of creates a feeling of community in that chat box, right? I especially like it when you guys start chatting together. It gives us a feeling that we're in this together. Hi Anna. Hi everyone. So to write to everybody, Elaine, you did it. There you go. So you need to write to all panelists and attendees. So you do that by where it says to, there's a box that says all panelists. If you choose the arrow and you click down, you can choose all panelists and attendees. Danny has managed it. Well done in Abu Dhabi. Elaine has managed it. Good evening to you. For me, it's midday. Maybe you heard the end of the bells there. Hi, Maria, saying hi to everybody. Good one. Where are you in the world, people? Tell us where you are to all panelists and attendees. Hi, Kaushi. Good one. Hi, Kathy. Hi, Anna in Moscow, Russia, Singapore, Melbourne, India, more Melbourne, more India, Sydney, and it's raining. Well, it's kind of getting to winter now there, right? So I hope that's good and normal for Sydney. Queensland, Australia, Victoria. It's hot and sunny here today, but we're just starting summer in the Northern Hemisphere, so that's to be expected. Good one. It's a pleasure, as always, to have you here today. What we're going to do is practice each speaking task. We will briefly look at the answers and score them. It's going to take us around 60 minutes. Some people joining us on YouTube today, very welcome on there. I can't see your messages, but you guys can chat together in the chat box over there. And remember, if you want to come and join us here in the live classes, then you can sign up for an account at e2language.com and join in on the live classes. What we're going to do is practice these items today, all the 5 parts of the speaking test: read aloud, repeat sentence, describe image, retell lecture, and answer short question. Couple of little things before we begin. If we try to save questions until the end of the session as much as possible, the idea of the live classes that we try to go through the material, at a good pace. If you want more guidance and explanation of the methods and the techniques, then you can get that in the live classes, which took place 2 hours ago. We have a new challenge up and running with our May challenges, weekly prizes to be won. I don't think we've announced yet the winners of last week, but last week we asked you to take a mock test, and some people are going to win $50 vouchers. This week, it's a new challenge. I'll explain that in a moment, but the challenges are open to people who are on a power package. So a power package is an intensive 4-week study plan, unlimited live classes, speaking and writing assessment. There are 3 of each, and a mock test with feedbacks. This is really good value. It's just $75 for all of that. And the challenge for this week is a great one. It's to make a short video for our E2 campaign telling us how you feel connected. Yeah, how does E2 make you feel connected? And you can post it on Instagram or Facebook and tag at E2 Language or hashtag E2 World, and send it to hello@e2language.com. And the prize this week is amazing. You get the chance to have your official test paid for. So that's a good one. Yeah, so make your video. I don't know if I can show you. Oh, Alex's video is here. Let's have a look at it so you can see an example one. Is this going to work? Here we go.
Hello, I'm Alex from E2 Language. I'm working at home here in Melbourne, Australia, but I'm just about to jump online and connect with our E2 students around the world in a live class. Studying is much better when we do it together.
Oh, I'm not sure what you managed to see then, if that worked, but there you go. That was Alex with her short video. You can see that on our social media anyway. So if you want to make your own video and get involved in the May Challenge, that is your task. So also we have the PTE group classes up and running now. There are still some spots available. In fact, we're opening up more spots, I think. So keep checking back in if you've missed out, because they're extremely popular. So we've got some more classes opening up, and those are 2 to 5 students in a class with a teacher. It's your chance to get lots of practice, lots of expert advice, and it's just $12 per class, and that's 55 minutes of class time. So check that out through the dashboard. Right, let me see. Everyone can see my screen, right? I think there's some weird stuff going on with Zoom today. Can everyone see PTE group class on screen? Could you just give me a yes? Yep, okay, fine. Thank you. Right. So do record yourselves doing these activities today. Get yourself an app ready so you can record yourselves. Our first exercise is going to be read aloud. All right, so get your apps ready. You have 35 seconds to prepare for this one. So I'll turn off and here you go. Good luck. Okay, so that was our first one. Let's take a listen and a look at a sample answer for this. Here we go.
A new report is calling for major changes in Australia's relationship with India across business and government. The India Economic Strategy is an independent report commissioned by the Prime Minister last year. It says there's no single major market with more growth opportunities for Australian business than India.
Okay, so that was our first one. How did it go for you? What you need to do to score this is think for the content. If you were able to read exactly what's in the text without any replacing, adding or omitting words, then you can give yourself a maximum of 5, and you need to take off for 1 point for each error. For oral fluency, this is about how you read it without any hesitations, repetition or false starts. Then the score is out of 5, and also out of 5 for pronunciation. So that's how it goes. Yeah, so some good points already raised in the chat box. Herman says, it seems like speaking like a news anchor may help to get a higher score. And yes, exactly. If you kind of think about yourself as being a news presenter, this is the way to get really a highest score. Now, we've experimented the last couple of sessions with having somebody do this. Would anybody like to have a go at reading the text aloud for us all? Let's see, do I have a volunteer? Whoa, right, Sukraj, I don't think we've had you before. I wrote it down last session, and you asked a couple of times last week, so I'm going to get you. You were first, so let me just find you. Sukraj. Right, I'm going to allow you to talk now. So you should be able to unmute your microphone. And I'll go back to this one. Hello?
Hello.
Hello. Hi.
Hello.
Hi there. Great. We can hear you perfectly. How are you?
Fine.
I've seen you in a lot of these classes over the last few weeks, I think, right?
Yeah, I was trying
How long have you been preparing with us?
just 1 month back.
1 month. Great. Okay. So are you ready for this?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Can I
Off you
start?
go.
A new report is calling for major changes in Australia's relationship with India across business and government. The India Economic Strategy is an independent report commissioned by the Prime Minister last year. It says there is no single major market with more growth opportunity for Australian business than India.
Okay, right. You've got some really nice intonation pattern going on there. You're falling, your pauses are falling in exactly the right places. You had exactly all the words. I didn't hear any words missed or any mistakes. It was pretty good. There was some slight tendency, I would say, to go a little bit fast. Do you think that's fair to
Okay.
say? Are you a fast speaker?
No,
No?
it's all. No.
Okay, maybe not. I was a little bit worried at times that we're going to go a bit too fast. Keep the speed moderate. That allows you to really, give the emphasis on the intonation, but the pausing and the way you said it was spot on. So I think that you would be getting around 13 or 14, I think, for this. Content was definitely a 5.
Thank
Oral
you.
fluency, strong, and pronunciation strong too. Well done. Good one.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, thanks a lot. All right, let's go then on to our second task. Get ready for another one. I'm going to turn off my screen. Here we go. This is our 40 seconds to prepare for this one. Good luck. Okay, so that was our second one. Let's take again a look and a listen to this. Here we go.
A team of archaeologists has discovered that a mass grave uncovered in Repton, Derbyshire, in the 1980s dates to the Viking Age and may have been a burial site of the Viking Great Army war dead. Research suggests that the site dates to the late 9th century, and historical records show that the Vikings wintered there in 873 AD.
Okay, so that was our second one. A bit tougher, maybe, in terms of some of this vocabulary. Any questions about any of this? Let's see, would anybody like to have a go at reading it aloud for us? Elaine, you were fast there. Let's give it a try with Elaine. So I'm just going to find you and let you speak. 1 second. Here we go. Hello, Elaine.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you perfectly. Hi there, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Yes, good, good. Now, one thing before you begin, because some people are asking in the chat box, this word is Derbyshire.
Derbyshire.
Yeah,
Derbyshire.
I think actually I need to make a comment to the E2 team, because I think on the pronunciation on the recording is a bit wrong, because she says something like Derbyshire. That's not right. But she's not British and I am, and Derbyshire is in the UK, and I promise you that is the pronunciation. So let's go for it. Okay, you ready?
Yes.
Good.
Can I start now?
Yeah, please do.
A team of archaeologists has discovered that a mass grave uncovered in Repton, Derbyshire in the 1980s dates to the Viking Age and may have been a burial site of the Viking Great Army War dead. Research suggests that the site dates to the late 9th century, and historical records show that the Vikings wintered there in 873 AD.
Very good. Nice one. You did that really well. Yeah, really natural, really that news presenter thing going on. All the pronunciation was fine. I think I didn't hear any errors at all. So that would be, you know, I think maximum points. So good one. Yeah.
Thank you.
873 AD. That's absolutely fine to say it like that. Sorry, Anna just said, is it okay? 873 AD. It's totally fine, the pause that you had there. Good one. Okay, so thanks a lot for that, Elaine. Good to hear from you. Let's move on to the next exercise. We'll just take a look at that scoring again. Don't forget to score yourselves for that. Sorry, I didn't say that. And if you want to have this experience of, you know, coming in and speaking and doing some practice, remember you can book a tutorial, a one-to-one tutorial with us. Gives you that opportunity to do exercises and have us give you feedback and comments on things to improve, right? So you book those through the dashboard and you can focus on any tasks that you would like to, and a chance for you to ask questions and get answers. Please explain the meaning of Vikings. The Vikings were like from Norway or Sweden, from the northern parts of Europe, and they came over to the UK, the ones that wear like the pointy helmets. They were Scandinavian. Thank you, Elaine. That was the word I'm looking for. The pronunciation is Viking, and the other word was Derbyshire. Okay, great. So let's go for repeat sentence next. So with this one, record yourselves. Remember, you need to repeat the sentence exactly as you hear it. You hear the sentence just once. I'll count you in so you know when it's going to start. So in 3, 2, 1.
No extensions will be allowed on this assignment.
Okay, so this was verse 1. Just 8 words. Okay, we can listen again.
No extensions will be allowed on this assignment.
So for the scoring for this, you give yourself, oh, it's not there, so I'll just tell you, you give yourself out of 3 points for content. There are 13 points available in total, and 3 points for content is 3 if it was 100% correct with no mistakes, and if you made any changes but you still got more than 50% of it correct, you can have a 2. And then it's 5 for oral fluency and 5 for pronunciation, like in the other sections. All right, next one. So focus in 3, 2, 1.
The government is considering building a light rail to ease congestion near the airport.
Okay, so here is the answer. It was a lot longer, this one.
The government is considering building a light rail to ease congestion near the airport.
Okay, so 14 words. Again, it's 3 or 2 for content. And then the final one in 3, 2, 1.
My dream is to build the world's first underground park in New York City.
Okay, again, that is 14 words. Let's listen again.
My dream is to build the world's first underground park in New York City.
Okay, so as I said, scoring for this is 13 for each one. So that's 3 for content, 5 for oral fluency, 5 for pronunciation. Add up your score, keep track of it as we go through the test today. So we'll talk about what it means towards the end of the test. So next up is describe image. Really challenging, this part. The mantra here has got to be KISS. Keep it simple. Don't get too complicated. Remember the E2 structure, introduction, 3 key points, conclusion, if you can get that in as well, brilliant. Get ready, do record yourselves doing this. I don't always say it, but listen back to yourselves after the sessions as well and listen again and see if you can improve it. All right, this is your first one. Here we go. Okay, so that was our first one. Let's go for another. 25 seconds to prepare. Oof, that was a challenging one. Very tricky. Let's take a look at our next one. Get yourselves ready. Here we go. Okay, another challenging one. So some tricky ones today. Let's take a listen to some sample answers then for these. This one was probably the most straightforward of the three. Here we go.
This line graph shows tourism arrivals in several different countries between 1995 and 2016. France had the highest number of tourism arrivals throughout the period, while Australia had the lowest of all the countries selected. Arrivals increased in all countries over the period, although some countries such as the US, China and Japan showed a lot of fluctuation in arrival numbers. In conclusion, it could be predicted that tourism arrivals will continue to climb as international travel becomes cheaper.
Okay, so that was our first one. Let's take a look then at this tricky one. I thought this was quite tricky.
This bar graph shows local government officials' awareness and staff awareness of the need for cybersecurity. Top appointed managers are the most aware of cybersecurity issues, with around 60% having moderate to exceptional awareness, while elected councillors and commissioners are the least aware, with over 40% having no or very little awareness. Over 30% of users in other categories had moderate to exceptional awareness. In conclusion, it can be seen that local government officials and staff are inadequately prepared for cyber threats.
Okay, sounds not brilliant there, but well done task. Okay, and the last one.
These graphs show retail trade sales in South Africa from 2009 to 2014 and the contribution made by each type of retailer in 2014. The line graph shows some fluctuation in sales figures, but there was a strong upward trend overall. The pie chart shows that the biggest contribution to retail sales was made by general dealers at over 40%, while smaller contributions were made by household goods, pharmaceuticals, and hardware. In conclusion, it can be seen that retail sales have increased substantially and general dealers have made a major contribution.
Okay, so you can see there the way to do this is just to really limit yourself to, one comment on this, overall upward trend with fluctuation, and then just one or two comments on this. Don't get too complicated. It's really important. So how did you do? How did you find those? You score yourself out of 15 for each of these. Did you find them okay? Did you find them particularly difficult? How did it go? And do give yourself scores out of 15. So Kraj says good. Okay, good. You must be getting good practice at this now. Practice really, really does help. I promise you. Yeah, it seems so incredibly daunting at the beginning, but it gets better and better. So let's take a quick reminder that you can do tasks online to get feedback on these. Yeah, you do the assessment tasks online and we give you feedback and tell you how you've done. You get detailed result feedback in 24 to 48 hours. So take advantage of those. Make sure you get your recorders working. If you have any issues, then you can always get in touch with help@e2language.com. Madhavi says in the case of the bar and pie chart, if we only talk about one, will scoring decrease? And I think, yeah, the answer is yes, because your content score would decrease because you at least need to mention something about the other one, I would say. So you would lose points on content if you don't mention both. All right, next up is retail lecture. So get ready to take notes for this. You want to be making notes on the topic and 6 to 8 key words. Okay, when you do your retell, you're going to use the framework, as you can see on the screen, with your notes. Now you might like to make your notes next to the framework. And today we're going to take an example of one of these afterwards. So get ready for that as well. All right, so here we go. 10 seconds to prepare. There's your image. Listen and take notes. 10 seconds to gather your ideas, and then 40 seconds to speak. Here we go.
Let me give you an example. of how a city's surfaces affect the way we live in it. When I visited Salamanca in Spain, I gravitated to the Plaza Mayor at all hours of the day. Right? And early in the morning, sunlight rakes the facades, sharpening shadows. And at night, lamplight segments the buildings into hundreds of distinct areas, balconies and windows and arcades, each one a separate pocket of visual activity. That detail and depth, that glamour, gives the plaza a theatrical quality. It becomes a stage where the generations can meet. You have teenagers sprawling on the pavers, seniors monopolizing the benches, and real life starts to look like an opera set. The curtain goes up on Salamanca. So just because I'm talking about the exteriors of buildings, not form, not function, not structure, even so, those surfaces give texture to our lives. Because buildings create the spaces around them. And those spaces can draw people in or push them away. And the difference often has to do with the quality of those exteriors. So
Okay, so that was the task. You finished, right, so you finished very early, Siam. Let's take, it was quite a challenging script, this one. I think we should take a listen to it again. We'll listen to a sample answer and then we'll hear from one of you. Okay, here we go.
let me give you an example of how a city's surfaces affect the way we live in it. When I visited Salamanca in Spain, I gravitated to the Plaza Mayor at all hours of the day. Right? And early in the morning, sunlight rakes the facades, sharpening shadows. And at night, lamplight segments the buildings into hundreds of distinct areas, balconies and windows and arcades, each one a separate pocket of visual activity. That detail and depth, that glamour, gives the plaza a theatrical quality. It becomes a stage where the generations can meet. You have teenagers sprawling on the pavers, seniors monopolizing the benches, and real life starts to look like an opera set. The curtain goes up on Salamanca. So just because I'm talking about the exteriors of buildings, not form, not function, not structure, even so, those surfaces give texture to our lives. Because buildings create the spaces around them. And those spaces can draw people in or push them away. And the difference often has to do with the quality of those exteriors. So,
okay, so it gets cut off a bit there, but that's fine. So let's listen to a sample answer.
The speaker was discussing city buildings and how they affect the way we live. He mentioned a plaza in Salamanca in Spain, and he described how in the morning the sunlight brings it to life, and how in the evening the street lights give it a very different kind of look. Then he talked about how the space is alive with movement and activity. He discussed how people young and old live their lives in the plaza, in their houses, and on the balconies. Finally, he suggested that the quality of the exteriors of the buildings create a space, and this makes a big contribution to the texture of our lives.
So some sophisticated stuff going on with this one. Does anybody feel like having a go at this? Would anyone like to have a try at giving us an answer? Last session we did it with describe image. Today I'm offering you the chance with this retell. Yeah, interesting. Not so many volunteers, it seems. Lima, you would like to try? Okay, let's do it. Okay, here we go. Hang on. Oh, okay, there. Lima, you should be able to talk now, I think. Hello? Just need to maybe unmute your microphone. Hello, Lima. Maybe you need
can you able to hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. Hi there.
Yeah, I'm a bit nervous now.
Yeah, it's interesting because I think it was Sukraj that just made the suggestion that we try doing describe image and retell lecture. But the thing is, read aloud is much more comfortable, right? Because we're just
read aloud is comfortable, but this is bit I think this is bit what to tell, challenging one for me.
It's totally challenging. So well done to you for being so brave here. Right. The only
because my notes is a bit different. Anyway, I will my notes is a bit different. Yeah. Can I speak?
Yeah, go with your notes. Can you see my timer if I hold it here?
Yeah, I can able to hear. Yeah, I can able to see. Yeah.
See it. So I'll start when you start speaking. I'll start the timer so you can see how much time you have. Okay.
Okay.
So off you go when you're ready.
Okay. The speaker was discussing about buildings and the lives we're facing all over the daily life. And then he was talking about the living style in the Spain, and she was mentioned about the early morning it looks like shadows, and in the late night it looks like a very great look, where we stand in the balcony or in the rooms or everywhere. And then finally he talked about the stages of the teenagers, and then concluded with the buildings and the spaces and the quality of the building.
Okay.
That's all.
Just under 39 seconds. So that was perfect in terms of the amount of time. Yeah. But how did it go in terms of, some things were good. You were using the framework quite well. You obviously had some notes, but it was quite obvious that you were a bit nervous about how to put them together, right? So there was a lot of and ah. Sometimes you went a little bit fast, I think, as well when you were speaking. So it was a little bit difficult to catch what you were saying. You also popped a preposition in after described. So you said described about, discussed. You said the speaker was discussing about, and there's no preposition there. So I think obviously you need a bit more practice of this. Have you been doing much practice, Lima?
Doing my practice, yeah.
Yeah, you need to, keep up the practice, keep calm.
But always making mistakes.
Yeah, try not to say too much, maybe. You seem to be really trying to squeeze in a lot of content, and it's not necessary to have a lot of content. Just have that feeling that you're just choosing 5 key points, and you're going to explain those 5 key points very clearly. Yeah, and you're not going to be trying to squeeze in a lot of stuff. It doesn't matter if you get everything in. The most important thing is what you do get in is clear and clearly described, and that you're, so you don't want to be speeding up too much, because I felt that got a little bit too fast. But good for you for giving it a shot, because it's a challenging thing to do. All right.
Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot. So. The chat box has been a bit quiet. Sukraj, that was my point. I'm not sure what you mean. That was my point. It's more challenging. Yeah, only 2 people volunteered. Sonia, thank you for volunteering as well. I'll make a note and maybe try and get you next class if you're in here, so that I can have you do something next week if you're still into it. Yeah. Good. Yeah, and the umming and the ahhing and the speed. I don't think slight pausing is much of a different, is such a big problem. I think going too fast and trying to squeeze too much in is going to be a problem, because the algorithms are not going to pick up what you say. Right, let's go for another one. I don't think we're going to have time to do 2 of these today, but we'll go for one more for everybody to practice. So here we go. 10 seconds to prepare. There's your image.
My hometown of Fez, Morocco, boasts one of the largest walled medieval cities in the world, called Medina, nestled in a river valley. The entire city is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Since the 1950s, as the population of the Medina grew, basic urban infrastructure, such as green open spaces and sewage, quickly changed and got highly stressed. One of the biggest casualties of the situation was the Fez River, which bisects the Medina in its middle and has been considered for many centuries as the city's very soul. In fact, one can witness the presence of the river's extensive water network all throughout the city, in places such as private and public fountains. Unfortunately, because of the pollution of the river, it has been covered little by concrete slabs since 1952.
Okay, so let's again take a look and listen to a sample answer. Now, interestingly, she is not a native speaker, so you might notice here we've had to make a couple of little corrections on her. So let's take a listen.
My hometown of Fez, Morocco, boasts one of the largest walled medieval cities in the world, called Medina, nestled in a river valley. The entire city is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Since the 1950s, as the population of the Medina grew, basic urban infrastructure, such as green open spaces and sewage, quickly changed and got highly stressed. One of the biggest casualties of the situation was the Fez River, which bisects the Medina in its middle and has been considered for many centuries as the city's very soul. In fact, one can witness the presence of the river's extensive water network all throughout the city, in places such as private and public fountains. Unfortunately, because of the pollution of the river, it has been covered little by concrete slabs since 1952.
Okay, so let's take a listen to a sample answer for this.
The speaker was discussing the river in her hometown of Fez, Morocco. She mentioned that the modern city has a World Heritage listed medieval city within it. Next, she described how the population has grown quickly and the urban infrastructure has become stressed. Then she talked about how the river is the heart and soul of the city and has a presence which includes many public and private fountains. She discussed how the river has become quite polluted over the years. Finally, she suggested that there was a problem due to the pollution. People have been covering the river with concrete.
Okay, so that was pro answer there for that one. Yeah, you can, Siam had a question, which is, if it was only 30 seconds, would that be okay? Yeah, it would. Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit short. It might bring you down in score a little bit, but it's not the end of the world if you've managed to include the majority of the content, Siam. We aim mostly for around 35, but it's fine. Now, Sonia, if you're still there, would you like a go at this one? You were quick to say that you'd like a go at the last one. Would you like to try doing this one for us? If not, do we have another volunteer? I think we've got time to squeeze in another. Sonia says yes. So let's give you a go for this. I'm going to just find you and allow you to speak. So Sonia, here we go. Hello? You might need to just unmute your microphone.
Yeah, hello.
Hi, yes, we can hear you now.
Oh, okay.
Let me get the timer for you. Hang on. So,
okay.
Are you ready?
Kind of. Yes, I'm ready.
Yay, come on, you can do this. Okay, when you've started, I'll press start. Okay, so when you're ready, off you go.
All right. The speaker was discussing about the river in our hometown of Fez in Morocco. She mentioned that the modern city has the World Heritage listed Mediterranean. Next, she described how the population has grown quickly and this has affected the infrastructures, and then the infrastructures are now being stressed. She also talked about how the river is also the heart and the soul of the city, and she discussed how the river has become quite polluted as a result of the rise in population. And finally, she suggested that there was a problem because due to the population, people are beginning to cover the river with stones.
Okay, I'm going to stop you there because you've gone over, but I wanted to
okay.
I wanted to hear your conclusion. Okay, so I think you got better as you went along with this one. So at the beginning, you did make the same mistake. You said she was discussing about, and there's no preposition. It's really difficult for people to remember. Yeah, and then in the first like 2 or 3 sentences, you said a few times.
Yeah, I wasn't really sure.
No. But then it got a lot better, and you, I think, did a pretty good job. Yeah, you used the framework really nicely. You also said like next, she described. You obviously had good notes that you were able to read from. Yeah, I think you did quite a good job there, Sonia. So good work.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, good to hear from you. Yeah, some other people agreeing with me in the chat box. You know, it really got better as you went on. I think that kind of hesitation that we saw from you there at the beginning would not be a major problem. And in fact, there's a great podcast with Jay in the E2 Talk section. Maybe some of you have seen it. If not, it's really worth checking out, where he speaks to the head of assessment at PTE, and they talk about the fact that normal hesitation, where we're just looking for vocabulary or looking for the grammar we need, you know, looking for vocabulary or ideas, if there's a little bit of hesitation, then it's not going to be penalized as much as, you know, constant hesitation where it's obvious that you don't have the language you need, which was not your case. Good one.
Oh, thank you.
All right. Right, I'll stop talking now. Hang on, let me get you, because we're going to go on and do our last section today, which is, I'm sure you all know, answer short question. So this is like a quiz, isn't it? Where you just have to listen and say the vocabulary. So we're going to do 3 of these, as always. You can record yourselves if you like, probably not necessary. I'm going to turn off my video and I will count you in so you know when it's going to start. So in 3, 2, 1.
What is the name for the small flying insect that bites us and can spread malaria?
Okay, good one. Lots of you got this one in the chat box. It is a mosquito. All right, terrible things.
What is the name for the small flying insect that bites us and can spread malaria?
All right, next one coming up. So give yourself a point for that. Next up, in 3, 2, 1.
What number do you end up with when you subtract 5 from 15?
Okay, pretty straightforward. Testing your knowledge of subtract there.
What number do you end up with when you subtract 5 from 15?
Okay, and the last one in 3, 2, 1.
What is the name for the kitchenware most people would use to fry an egg?
Okay, and the answer to this one, a pan or a fry pan or a frying pan. Excuse me. For me, frying pan is more common, but all three answers accepted there.
What is the name for the kitchenware most people would use to fry an egg?
Okay. So give yourself 1 point for each of those. That takes you up to a potential score of 147 on our test today. All right, so add up your scores. How did you do? Let's take a look at a score calculator. So it's very, this is a rough idea of what you need to get different scores on PTE. If you're looking for a 79, you need to be getting roughly 130 or more. If you're looking for 65, you want roughly 105 or more. And if you're looking for 50, you want about 80 or more on the test today. If you're not getting that score, you need to figure out why and decide what it is you need to improve. Is it about content? Is it about pronunciation, or is it the oral fluency? If it's about the content, it might be that you have issues with listening. Yeah, so it could be that you need to do listening to more things. Is it about vocabulary? You need to extend your knowledge of vocabulary, or maybe you need to have more general knowledge. So listening to things from the news or TED or podcasts can really help with all of that. If it's pronunciation, you might need to practice particular sounds. Remember, we've got the course, the Speaking Lab course on E2 School, which is free access at the moment because of the COVID situation. And it's a really good way to practice. Or if it's about oral fluency, it could be that you need more practice with the techniques and the methods, or that you do need more vocabulary. So remember, how can you get that practice? We have our platform. You can check out the live classes. You can also create and follow your study pathway there and get access to your own study pathway, or you can access those materials here in the PTE course tab, or you can you can look at grammar activities in here, and there's some good vocabulary activities in there as well. You can also submit your speaking for feedback. You can book tutorials with us, right? You can also check out those extra resources. I mentioned already one of the podcast episodes, which is really useful. You can check out TED Talks as well. You can look at the blog. All the latest articles are on the blog. If you hover over PTE, you get this pop-up menu. And you can also go to the YouTube channel for the latest videos. And finally, E2 School, I already mentioned Speaking Lab. It's a really great option for improving pronunciation, and it's free access at the moment, so check it out. So quick reminder about that power package. If you're interested in that, especially if you're joining us from YouTube, it's a really great way to get access to unlimited live classes, the recordings of the live classes, speaking and writing assessment, plus a mock test with feedback for just $75. If you are a current user and you want to take advantage of that package, you just need to set up a separate account with a separate email address to get access. And it gives you access to the May challenge for this week, which is to make a short video and share it via Instagram or Facebook, tagging us, and send it to hello@e2language.com. And this is a great prize this week. It's a chance to get your official test paid for. You can check out Alex's video on our Instagram, And finally, remember, we've got those PTE group classes up and running. We've opened up some more places because they've been very popular. So check out through the dashboard, just below where it says tutorials. Now you have an icon that says group class. You can click there and it will take you through to the system for booking, and it will show you what is available and at what time. It's $12 per class, a bit of a bargain, I would say. So if you have any questions, I'll stick around for a few minutes. If not, and you're going, I'll say thanks a lot. Goodbye. It's been a pleasure, as always, to have you here today. And I'll see you next time. And for people that are staying, I'll just take a look in the chat box. Nahid, thank you. Yasar, thank you. Who is that? Says Maria says, I could do this task forever. Yes, I like the answer short question as well. Maria, I got 83 on read aloud and 84 on describe image on the E2 speaking assessment. I hope I can get the same grades on my test. That would be great, wouldn't it? Well done, you. Thank you, Kathy. Thank you, Denise. Thank you, Neil. Good night to you. Sandeep, thank you. Thank you for our volunteers today. So who was it? Sonia, Elaine, Sukraj, and Lima. Good work, everybody. We'll take some more volunteers next week as well. See you next time. Thank you, Jenna. Stay safe wherever you are, you lot. And yeah, I'm back here on Thursday, actually, with the listening class. So I might see some of you then, or back here next Monday for more speaking. So until then, take care, and yeah, I'll see you soon. Bye.